How many pedals do you really need? What if your pedal board is carrying some excess weight? What if people think you're relying on your pedals too much? What if the board's too big for its own good? Here's some of the lessons learned from having a massive pedal board. And actually, is it worth scaling back? I've got a load of gigs this month. I've got so many gigs that I need to spend more time planning and learning songs than I need to building rigs. So I did one rig building session and I built this massive pedal board. It's using this. I know there are bigger pedal boards out there, but this GoCo pedal board had my power supply in there and a whole bunch of pedals. Just getting to the first rehearsal was a bit of a hurdle because of the way we rehearse. We're a little bit out the way. It's quite a bit of a walk to get to the actual place. And this pedal board was weighing in at 18 kilograms, which doesn't sound a lot. Actually, it's less than most amps. But the carry case and bag that it came in weren't equipped for it. And as a result, there was an accident that happened where the pedal board strap let go, well, my hands were full, and it's dented the corner. Now, it's not a massive structural problem, but can you imagine if that was my HXFX that got dented, or indeed some of my more expensive and prestigious pedals? That would have been an issue. So I still haven't tried all my pedals out since the incident. What I've done is I've quickly stripped this board down because today I'm going to have another pedal board delivered. Me and my littlest daughter are going to rebuild the board, and we're going to rebuild it smaller and we're going to build it back better. So here's a couple of lessons that I've learned from having a massive flat board layout, and what would I do next time to get a really refined system and setup. You might want to take this and use it. You might find some of this useful, and you might indeed have some suggestions as well. So please leave a comment around that. Just a reminder, all these videos are sponsored by people who like and subscribe. I've got no affiliations with anybody. I have affiliate links, which is nothing to do with people sending me gear. All the stuff that I review and talk about is my own kind of experience. The starting point for this big build that I've been using this for the last 6 months, is a massive pedal board, certainly by most people's terms. And I've used a mixture of different things, from having loads of analog pedals to having a digital modeler to having a couple of digital pedals and some analog pedals and hybrid and everything in between. And the result has always been a very heavy pedal board wherever I go. That's not necessarily a problem. What I have found though, on 2 occasions, the actual stage space that this takes up has been annoying to some people. So I've done some gigs. One was at a venue where this had to go on a step lower than I was on. So this sort of staging was kind of stepped up. It was like a small hotel kind of setup. My band's quite big, so that I was playing with. We had percussion, drums, 3 singers. This had to go by where the singers were, and it was an absolute nightmare to press the right pedal. And more often than not, I would be pressing the wrong pedal and getting the wrong sounds. That is counterproductive. So the size of a pedal board is really important. Next would be the layout. Because it's flat, it's hard to step your pedals up. All my pedals seem to be about the same kind of thickness. So you really are reaching over and tap dancing on pedals. My feet are quite big. They're like size 11. I'm not bragging. It's just that when you're trying to get a little pedal and you've got, say, this one next to this one, it's got stuck to a sock. Next to this one, sometimes I'm turning this one off whilst turning this one on, and that's no good to me. By the way, this pedal is left on all the time, so I don't even need access to this. This could just be left somewhere. And the way I'm running things at the moment, certainly I'm using the Tonex pedal, the Tonex 1. Really enjoy that little pedal. I really enjoy the Tonex 1. That, in a way, I could do a whole gig without even touching that, because it's got my amp that I like. and it's fantastic. I've got a backup amp in there. I've got like a little want something more martially, I've got that there. But to be fair, on some gigs, I'm not even reaching for it. So there's some pedals I don't need access to. The conclusion is go for something with a step on it. So one level for some pedals and another level to get those more instant access pedals that I need. So what I've done is I've gone and ordered a NUX Bumblebee. So that is due to arrive in a minute. And what I'll do, with the wonderful help of my 3-year-old, who's very technical, very tech savvy, between us, we're going to rebuild the board. She's fully briefed. She's good at signal flow. Right, so we've got this Amazon package. I'm going to open it up. Do you want to help me?
Yeah.
Come on, then. Go on, you do that side. So we've got this NUX pedal board, okay, and somewhere, pull that one out. Oh, and pull the whole thing out if you can. There we go. I'm going to take this bit out. Do you want to cut it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Scissors. This is it. We don't need the scissors for a little bit now. Right. Look at this. We've got a zip section, and in there we've got a few tools, some bolts, some clips. What do you think they're going to be for? We've got a funky sticker.
I have a funky sticker.
You can have that funky sticker.
Thank you, thank you. I really want it now.
You really want it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Can we unzip that, please?
Okay.
Okay, good. Great. Here it is. It's a bit smaller than I thought it would be. This is the Velcro, so we're going to need to cut some of that. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough Velcro, but we'll see. Right, let's get them strips sorted then. I mean, luckily, I've got loads of Velcro. But let me just check that my pedals are going to stick to this stuff. This is not like anything I've ever used. It's not really going to do the business for me. It is, dual lock is good, but it's not compatible with what I've got. And there's only a little bit of it. So like, what? 18. There's enough to go. Yeah, it's just not enough of that. So hold on to the scissors. This is what I've come up with using the Bumblebee. This takes up quite a lot less space, around 40% less space. Couple of advantages as well that I've just realised, even though I never really planned them, but the way I've laid this out is that the knobs on my pedals won't be messed with getting in and out of the bag or the casing. So that is a real boon that I wasn't kind of expecting. So just running through the signal path and sort of what's happening here. This is doing most of the lifting in terms of pedals and effects. However, there's a Tonex one you might notice down there. So I've got my 20 sort of all-time kind of patches that I want to use, but I'm just A-Bing between the Dumble It's like a clean dumble. Really nice clean sound. This is with a Les Paul with humbuckers, so it's got lots of clarity. There's a lot of dynamics and complexity to that sound. I really like it. The other side, it's more of a marshally. Turn that down. Nice clean sound as well. Turn it up. It's a JTM 45, my all-time. Other than a deluxe reverb, the JTM 45 is my ultimate. So imagine if I had a deluxe reverb on a stage and a blues breaker combo. Probably be my dream setup. Okay, so what's going on here? They're doing the lifting in terms of the main sets of things. This poking through here is under the top deck. That is an Origin Effect stacked Cali 76 stacked. It's on very subtly. That's with it on, with it off. With it on, it's quite warm. This adds a lovely warmth to everything. So I've left it so I can see the indicators here of what's going on, but I can't adjust the knobs really without taking this off. This is using, so when I unboxed it, I was mocking the very small amount of tape it gave me. It was double lock that it was giving me. And the 3M double lock stuff's really good, so I shouldn't have really dissed it initially, because it's so much better than Velcro. It just snaps on, everything just snaps on and off. So this, I've got it so that it'll just snap on and off if I need to really adjust something. But I'm really happy with this layout. From that, I'm going into my broadcaster. It's a Hudson Broadcaster preamp style pedal. I can access the on switch really easily. And it's on a fuzz setting. I'm still going to play that and some other fuzzes. I can access the switch if I want, and the low cut, which is actually the one. It's like the EQ on it, really. Next, it goes into my EQ G7 pedal that's set up already to make this humbucker guitar sound like more of a single coil. So gives it more of a telly. Back to normal. After that, we're going into the Protein. The Protein is my all-time desert island drive pedal. It's, for me, better than the King of Tone. It does a blues breaker sound here. I just love that sound. It's really open and amp-like. It's just full of oomph. Plenty of power on tap as well. This side is an ODR one without the crazy bass stuff. And then you put them both on, and it's kind of like a Zen drive then. It's just great. So that then goes into the HXFX, where all the channels, I've got full control really of where that goes in after that really. And then I've got my Tonex one on an effects loop, so I can then, if I go on the signal flow, you can see here that my wah, I've got my wah, and then this effects loop will actually need to be moved a little bit, so I'll just move that block. But I do like to have my, is that delay? Yeah, so I've got it so that I've got my all my effects there. I've got a drive there as well, the Diana drive. I don't really need a Diana drive in that block anymore, but what would be useful is just a nice thing that gets thick with wah. They do this thing called the Minotaur or Minotaur, and it's a clon. I've never used a clon like that. That's how I use a clon. Yeah, that's cool. And then what that means is if I activate my wah, got a really responsive blues lead break. That's way more responsive to the gain. If I do it like this, look, it's more like a filter because it's post the effect. So for a more vocal quality, you want a drive afterwards. You have a nice throaty sound. So the Minotaur or Minotaur, that's basically a clon, centaur kind of sounding thing. Sounds really good, and it's very big sounding. Just the kind of thing I need. So that's like one way that I can use this. That was the thing with this. I wanted to just have a look at other trems, because that one, I think it was more this kind of sound. I need to just set a control to that. Right, cool. Now that's nice. All right, cool. So I've got scope with all of this as well to use it in a stereo sense. So if I go back to the signal flow, I'm not using a lot of DSP on all of this, but if I wanted to, I could set these up to be a stereo path really easily, and have left and rights if I could be bothered with that stuff, but I'm not. I think by the time, just from experience, I don't need it. I'm just going to double check with all my little patches. If you do something like this where you just, previously I would have used my, I wasn't using an effects loop for the amp. Just want to make sure that my amp is where I want it in the loop there. So what have I got here? It looks funny. So I've got a delay there. Flanger. Right, I want my flanger somewhere else. Let's put it there. Yeah. Cool. Such a easy. I think this is what Line 6 has got going for it big time. Not only do I love the effects and the quality of the effects, you know, there's no doubt that this is just, it's just so, the modelling of the pedals is great. And then they've gone and made everything just so easy to use. Just fantastic. Little things like if I want them to be in a different, I want that to be there and that to be there, I just push it and press OK. It's just incredible. I can't believe that with this stuff, prices for a new one of these is more than it was for a new one of these a couple of years ago. Absolutely bonkers. Anyway, that's the rig. It's almost simplified. It's got some technical elements. You'll notice it's quiet. These pickups, this guitar tends to buzz sometimes. Oh, there we go. I've got a little bit of my little Marshall sound. That's really got that tone, that sort of lower. Ooh. I don't know how to describe the Marshall tone, but it just purrs beautifully. It's just a wonderful sounding amp. And it's not even an amp, it's the Tonex profile. It just sustains. So this weighs so much less now, quite a lot less. It's probably about 5 kilos. It fits in the bag perfectly. It can be transported. I can plug it in straight away, and it's the most hassle-free but comprehensive rig. And the beauty of it is my knobs aren't going to get messed with as I'm putting it in and out the cases. This is all really solid because of that special tape. It doesn't take up a lot of space, which was causing me a load of problems. And this is all I need to take to the gig. I don't need to take anything else. Now, one of the shows I do has a lot of acoustic as well. The cool thing with this is I can plug this into, I can plug my acoustic permanently into the other input on here, and I could, if I wanted to, have an output assigned and have an acoustic patch, so it might have some of the EQs and preamps for acoustic from the HXFX. I could even assign an IR, but I wouldn't bother because it will just go direct to front of house and it will sound great. Acoustics kind of are a bit different to electric guitars in the way they make the sound. That again just simplifies everything. So when I'm doing guitar changes, they can be really fast, especially one of the shows that I do where they'll just start the next song anyway, and I've got, you know, 10 bars to get there, and I could do that if it's all ready to go. So this is almost like having the best of all worlds. I've got some great analog pedals. I've got a digital modeler here that I'm really impressed with, and there's some great profiles out there, and it takes up no space. And I've got, and that's dealing with all the, you know, all the power just for the amp sounds, and this is dealing with all my routing and pedal sounds. So really happy with that. God, guitarists are boring. I am so boring, but I love this kind of stuff. And if you love this kind of stuff too, please subscribe and share and tell your friends. And until next time, thank you for watching this.
I'm making it like a tent, but it's not a tent.